Hello, this is David with entry number 499. I'm recording this one away from my face today because I want to show you this new coffee system that I've been using. So I have here the Kinto filter. I think the camera might have a hard time focusing on it. Well, there we go. It uses a series of, I'm going to hold it next to the light so it can focus a little better. It uses a metal filter with a whole bunch of really small holes. Yeah, it's too fine for the camera, but I'll just look at it right now and I can tell you that the holes seem to be circular. It has a flat tip and is riveted together, and there's a little plastic black ring. It's a fairly simple system, and I have it in a Kono pour over thing. This one uses a big hole, but it's smaller than the Hario V60 if you're familiar with that. First of all, you saw that the water was boiling at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to preheat the filter and the mug. It's always something that you should think about doing when you brew coffee. Because there are so many holes, this basically pours straight through as if you were not even using a filter, which is nice. It also doesn't have any sides, so you don't have any issues like you do with a Melita style filter. Hey!
Oh, hey.
I'm just doing a little video here for my pour over
For your what?
of my little coffee thing I got. Just adding water.
Is that your YouTube vlog or?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I think so.
You want help?
I'm good. This is the bloom. Maybe 10 seconds, or 25, 30 seconds on that. Coffee's relatively fresh, so we should get a decent bloom. It's about a week and a half old now, though, so probably not the best. Generally, when using these kind of fast brew methods, it is kind of accepted that pours should be smaller, more like pulse brewing. But in general, what I found is that because the grind size is so much of a factor here, you really can pour however you want, and generally it's even better, I should say, to pour quickly because the restriction of the coffee by the small holes that get filled very quickly by the coffee grounds themselves. It really doesn't matter, and it could take actually a lot longer to brew a cup if you try and pulse brew. So what I found is that maybe 5 or 6 longer pours like you've seen work a little better for this brewing method. It can vary, obviously, but that's what I've found to be true. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of this blue light, purple light, I should say. And I've actually already kind of messed up the pour, which is fine, by moving the coffee cup, but it's all good. Because the Kono is kind of just a pretty simple brewer, you do have to take into account to some extent the what am I saying? The fact that you can't see into the cup. So that's one thing that I've kind of had to kind of deal with, is learning how to pour without overfilling the cup. And generally what I'll do is try and pick it up just as evenly as possible without disturbing the coffee too much. Of course, you have your typical problems that you run into with brewing this way in terms of turbidity and, messing up the grounds. Generally, it's fairly easy. It takes a long time, I should say. Kinto, the filter, actually says on the filter slow coffee or slow drip or whatever, so I imagine they intended on this being a sort of longer process. Like you do with all pour-overs, you want to avoid pouring around the filter itself, keeping about a half centimeter of space is what I think is the best. And that'll be my last pour because you're actually right there. So, there's a few different ways that people kind of handle finishing their cup. Some people think it's better to kind of have an exact measurement, but I generally will just pour and then I'll keep checking, and when I have a good idea of how full the cup is, I'll just kind of remove it. You can't really see it because of the crappy video quality, but there is quite a bit of oil on the filter, which I like, or oil that passes through the filter. Now, this is the same oil that has come under fire recently for being a carcinogen, I think. I'm not really sure how true that is, but a lot of people have some people have purported that the oils that get passed through metal filters are cancer-causing. Generally, I don't believe these kind of fringe articles, but what they do in terms of flavor is that they provide a much fuller body than you would if you used a paper filter. Now, granted, you don't get the kind of refinement out of a Kinto cup that you would with a paper cup, paper filtered cup, but it is pretty damn good. I think it's a very interesting way of brewing coffee. It's obviously a ripoff of the Able cone, which I kind of had to deal with. The price of the Able cone here in Korea is extremely expensive, so I just went with this because it was cheaper. The cone was designed, this brewer, the Kinto, was designed in Japan and made in China, whereas the cone was made in the USA and designed in the USA. So it's kind of a trade-off, I admit, but yeah, this is a very good cup of coffee. Anyway, thanks for watching. This was entry 499. Tomorrow is the big 500. Like I said, it'll probably be the last one for a bit. I might do every other day or every 3 days. Definitely you'll get one before I leave, for the day before I leave Singapore, so expect that. But everything else is good, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye.